Welcome back to Memoria, where we're listening to this guy's long-winded story that is extremely interesting, though. So, go on.
Why did you need the ruby? Why the mask? Why all of this?
I wanted to bring together all the relics surrounding Sadja's disappearance and finally understand what happened to her.
Oh, we'll understand
At least I
real
would know
good
what happened to her.
that she basically got her ass handed to her and
There was only
wasn't
one
a
problem.
hero and...
I'm terrible at riddles. That's why I needed
Ah,
experts to help me.
like
Who could
Geron,
understand every
the
detail and
rogue.
be prepared for today.
The finest roguish type
To do
awesome
what?
dude
To
there's
be
ever
able
been.
to tell Sadja's tale to the end without making a mistake.
Does it matter how she died? She's dead. We
Oh, it
can't
matters.
change that.
Oh, we can change it.
You will determine what happened to her.
I don't understand.
The Garden of Oblivion, Geron. I read the journal to the end. After her return, Sadja went into the Garden
Ah.
of Oblivion and never came out again.
She might still
Nothing
be
that happened
alive.
in the garden has actually happened until someone talks about it. Outside the garden.
And since Sadja has been forgotten since that day, her fate has never been told, and thus never completed.
I never did understand the garden.
Geron, the events in the garden have no effect on the outside world. As though they never happened.
So
Only
Geron
when
will
someone
decide the fate of the
convincingly
world
tells
once
those
again.
tales do they become true.
But if it turns out that they lied, or were mistaken,
Then Satanav's invisible hand punishes them for their sacrilege.
that's why we mustn't make a mistake. I think I've explained enough about our wondrous meeting.
Are you ready, Geron?
Just a moment.
Tell me of the punishment.
One of us ends Sadja's story and is wrong.
If Satinav learns that the tale we tell can't possibly be true, then he'll make it unhappen and declare the teller guilty of sacrilege.
Don't worry, Geron. We won't make a mistake. I've thought everything through very carefully.
Well, Bryda? How
Why
carefully?
are you here, Bryda? Sadja's story doesn't have anything to do with you.
Geron, there's nothing left for me here. I'm a deserter. My own comrades are hunting me. This is my only refuge.
Very well.
Please, even if you still don't understand, let me bring it to an end.
I'm sure everything will be fine again.
The world will never be as fine as it once was.
And Nuri?
At the waterfall, you promised to change Nuri back to her old form.
And I will, but first, we must complete Sadja's story.
And what's Fahi's role
What's
then?
Fahi's role in all this?
Fahi is a man of many talents. He has a feeling for tales, and he's good at solving riddles. In addition, he had a wagon and a tent in which I could hide on my long journey. He is helping
how
me solve the riddle,
convenient.
and in return, I protect his business from looters. That is our agreement.
So he's actually harmless.
Fahi is the most harmless man I've ever met in my 3,000 years. I was sorry to petrify him, but it was the only way to save him from your fellow citizens.
And the riddle?
What about the inscription on the burial chamber?
You mean the stone and the scarab? Fahi believes that the inscription is the key to everything. But as apt as his intuition may be, in this case he's mistaken. The riddle is apparently only a strange jotting on the margins, a random blemish on an otherwise monumental painting. There's nothing else to say about it. Sadja was taken to the burial chamber.
So
to
the
read
riddle isn't even that
trivial
important.
inscriptions, and as proud as she was, she refused, that's all.
All right.
Then put the mask on the bust of my old master, and let us begin.
Is this the master? Let's do it.
Thank you, Geron. Are you ready now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get this over with.
Thank you, Geron.
Which of you will now step forward and tell the story to its end?
Potential 3 different endings. I'm gonna save if that's possible. In case this is an alternate ending situation. Start Geron. He is the hero of the day.
Very well. I'll now tell you of Sadja's passage into the garden. As it is written in the Adept's journal, listen closely. At the end, You must tell me how the story ends. After her return from the battlefield, Sadja was only a shadow of herself. She had seen the horrors of the Nether Hells,
Yeah.
an ocean of destruction and death.
Okay.
She was the only survivor, but the rest of the world did not care.
Of course.
Sadja's great dream had failed. She wandered the
Uh-huh.
halls of Draconia like a ghost. She didn't eat, and she only slept when exhaustion forced her to. On the fourth day, a young adept saw her at the threshold to the portal. He asked her where she was going. It was cold in the mountains, and she could have become lost. Whereupon she answered,
I'm going to the garden to break my being.
The boy immediately ran to the air adept, but help arrived too late.
She was
When
gone.
they entered the garden, all that they found was the mask and Sadja's ruby next to it. There was no sign of her. Out of fear of challenging Satinath, it was decided that they would forget the incident. No one was allowed to speculate about what had happened on that day.
Except Geron.
The mask and the ruby were taken to Draconia. The garden was sealed, and Sadja's fate was forgotten. Until today. It's now up to you, Geron, to finish her story. But remember, one mistake, and the consequences will be terrible.
I know. Sadja entered the garden.
She looked around.
She thought briefly and looked around.
Sat down
She sat on the ground.
and put on the mask.
Then she hesitated for a moment and wondered if she was really doing the right thing.
Then she pulled out the
She
mask.
took out the mask.
She looked into it.
She looked into the mask and
Spoke the name. Spoke the name.
and
She read the magic spell, memorized it, put on the mask, and destroyed her memory.
why did you interrupt me?
I was afraid you would say the wrong thing. Then she disappeared into the depths of the garden like a soulless waif, and was never seen again.
It is done. I had always hoped it would be otherwise. But I was mistaken.
Are you crying?
Of course I'm crying. My princess just died.
Oh, well, I guess that's it then. That was the end just now, wasn't it?
Yes.
No. Since Sadja used the mask, her memories are now in the mask,
Clever.
and thus the true name of the Djinn of Time.
What are you doing?
Clever
Dan
girl.
Skadan es blaste quatan, humrir lor gras ferel goran. Hil bemotir kerul falan, juntir
Is she about
katan
to
silontir
screw herself
solan.
over or become uber-powered?
Iti meta
One of the two.
fumano irti veda.
Or is she gonna turn herself into the princess?
I've been awakened.
The Djinn of Time.
Tell me, child, what is your wish?
I'm sorry, Geron, but there's nothing left for me in this time. As if there had ever been anything for me here. There are no heroic princesses, no ancient tombs, no flying fortresses. Only endless honor guards, latrine duty, one triviality after another. When was the golden age lost? When princesses still dreamed of battles and the world was filled with magic. I wish it was all as it used to be.
Your wish is my command.
Bryda.
So
The
she's
girl is now gone.
become the princess with the staff.
Her longing now rules over her existence.
Oh my.
It is my task to fulfill that longing. To extinguish the grey present and bring the past to life again.
Well, we're heroic and stuff, so don't kill us, please. So, does that include bringing Nuri back, perhaps? Because that's old school times? Or just kind of...
Oh no. The forest is starting to change. What did she do?
Geron, come quickly.
can I grab something?
Not yet. The Djinn of Time would immediately tear me to pieces.
Okay.
Geron, I've been thinking.
That's nice, but it won't help us any. Bryda told Sadja's story to the end. She had Sadja put on the mask and draw out all her memories in the Garden of Oblivion, so that everything has now happened exactly like that. And she read out Sadja's memories with the ruby. I mean, Bryda did that. And now she's possessed by the Djinn of Time.
And we're screwed!
Calm yourself,
Oh.
Geron.
I'm supposed to calm down? We have to do something!
You're right. And we can only do something if we prove that Bryda was wrong. That Sadja did not put on the mask. You forget that there's still a part of the riddle we have not solved.
The scarab? As if a
I think I finally recognized that guy's voice actor.
Do you have a better idea?
Yeah.
Look around. We're in a copy of the burial
It's the
chamber.
narrator
Perhaps you'll find the
from
crucial
Baldur's
clue
Gate,
somewhere.
the PC
Bring it to
game.
me, and perhaps we can
It all
solve
makes
the
sense.
riddle once and for all.
It all makes sense. I can't keep going. We gotta take a break on that one.